Hey guys, this is Naveen here. Welcome back to Naveen Automation Labs. And in this video, we are actually going to implement singleton pattern with Selenium WebDriver. Very famous interview question for design point of view, that where exactly practically you are using the singleton pattern in Selenium in your framework. So you can initialize your driver and everything with singleton. And then let's see how exactly it works. We will try to introduce the thread local class also, so that we can execute the test cases in the parallel mode properly with singleton pattern. Okay. In the last video, we have already seen that what do you mean by singleton pattern. Singleton pattern means that creating the object of that specific class only once. If you try to create the object one more time, the same instance will be returned without creating any fresh object or new object. So same thing, if you have multiple threads are creating the object, every thread will get the copy of that particular instance only once. So only one object will be created in the memory, not many. That's why this is called a singleton pattern here, right? So what exactly I have done without wasting our time, please watch this full video. That will help you a lot to implement it. So I have created one Pommet XML file, and here I'm already having this Selenium Java and TestNG dependency. We will write one test case also. And this is the project that it's already set up. This is a class that I have created. Let's see, WebDriver manager class or WebDriver singleton class. So this will be my singleton class, right? So what exactly I'm going to do that in the beginning itself, that I'm going to maintain, let's see, one private variable of singleton class of this particular class. And I'm making it volatile also, so that each and every thread will get the fresh copy, or you can say the proper copy of this particular WebDriver manager instance. So it's always a good practice to use a volatile here. And this is my WebDriver manager. And let's see, this is what the instance reference that I have created here. And volatile, you can write here also, or before static also, it really doesn't matter. And what exactly I'm going to do it is that I'm going to use one thread local class. So thread local class is actually introduced in JDK 1.8. See, with the name itself, thread local. So give me the local copy for each and every thread for what? The generics that you are providing here. So let's see, I'm saying that I want to create one thread local copy for the WebDriver. And then here, I'm just going to create the thread local instance here, like the static reference variable that I'm going to create. And then I'm going to import the WebDriver here. So whenever multiple threads, because remember, singleton pattern is actually preventing the parallel execution, especially with the cross-browser logic, because in UI automation, we have to run one test case with Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, right? So singleton pattern will not be able to run my test cases properly in the parallel mode with the cross-browser logic. Sequentially, it will work absolutely fine here, but with the parallel execution, it won't work. So that's why we have to introduce this particular thread local class, and then we will set up or register our WebDriver with the thread local driver. So thread local driver class will have two methods. One is set and one is get here, right? So we will see that also in some time. And then in the singleton pattern, what we have seen, that singleton pattern should have a private constructor. So let's see, I'm just going to simple have this particular private constructor. It has, let's see, so far nothing here. And then we have seen that it should have one public method also, that get instance method or something like this, it will be having it. So that also we will create it. So let's say I'm going to create one public static void get, let's see, the instance method here. And this get instance method says that, for example, you give me a browser here, right? This method, and this method will return the instance. And here in this method body, we will write the logic for the singleton. So we will write the logic in some time. I'll do one thing. We don't have any body for this constructor, so let it be like this. And here I'm going to create one more method here, that is, let's see, some internal private method that I'm going to create. This is my, let's see, initialize the driver method. I want to initialize a driver here. And in order to initialize the driver, what should I do? In order to initialize the driver, we have to supply the browser here. Simple. And then the typical cross-browser logic that we always write, switch case statement. This is my browser here. And the value will be what? Three values, let's say I really want to maintain. Three cases, Chrome and Firefox and Edge browser. So instead of writing driver equal to new Chrome driver, so I'm going to register my driver with the thread local driver. It means I'm going to set my driver. See, set, and it says that you give me the WebDriver value. So here we have to use that top casting option, that driver equal to new Chrome driver. So can I say that a new Chrome driver is also a driver? And that's it. And then import this driver here. So this is what I'm doing, that thread local driver dot set and then new Chrome driver. So thread local driver is already having the generics of WebDriver. So that's why the set method is saying that you give me the WebDriver value. Okay, I'm giving the WebDriver value, new Chrome driver here like this. If you have already used thread local concept, maybe you guys are already aware of this particular concept, right? And then again, I'm writing another browser. This is the Firefox. And here I'm going to use the Firefox driver here. Same case that I'm going to write with the Edge browser also, or any other browser that you want to use. Let's say I'm going to use Edge browser also. And here I'm writing Edge driver here. And if you are coming inside the else part, in the else part, what you do? In the else part, if you are passing, let's see, wrong browser, let's see, Opera browser equal to Naveen or something, then in that case, I just simple throw one illegal state exception. Throw with some message here that, let's see, unsupported browser, and whatever the browser name that you are supplying, same browser that we are using it here as well, right? And then throw and break cannot be together. So just simple remove it from here. Perfect. Because once the browser name is wrong, we don't want to proceed further here. That's it. So let's see, this is a private void method that we have created here. Now what I'm going to do it here is that now I'm going to implement the singleton pattern, right, in this particular class. And the same thing that we've already seen in the last video, if you remember, if you have already seen, we are going to use one double check here for the singleton. First, that I'm going to create that if this particular instance is what is equal to null, right? And I'm not making this method is synchronized, because if this method is synchronized, and whenever I'm creating multiple threads from the testng, let's see, for example, then multiple threads won't be able to access this get instance method at the same time in the parallel mode. So right, so that's why we are avoiding to write synchronized keyword here. See, this synchronized keyword I don't want to write, otherwise this method will be synchronized, this method will be thread safe, which will not help me in the parallel execution. That's why I'm not writing the synchronized here, otherwise it will be a performance issue and it won't run in the parallel mode. What I want, whenever multiple threads are coming, they are using this particular method at the same time, they are checking instance equal to null. If it is equal to null, then I'm going to introduce the synchronized block here. This synchronized block says, okay, fine, this is my singleton class dot class here, and then again I'm writing one if and then instance check equal to, sorry, what I have written, instance equal to null here. And then I'm going to do what? Then I'm going to create the object of this particular class. So instance is equal to what? Instance is equal to a new this WebDriver manager class that we are going to use it here. Simple. And the private constructor will be called. So internally within the class, private constructor can be called, and then it will create the object only if the instance equal to null. And this if condition I have written within the synchronized block. So only this particular block is synchronized, not the entire method over here. Perfect. Okay. Now we will update this code in some time. Now after that, what exactly I'm going to do it here is we are going to create one more method here. Let's see that I'm going to create one public method. Which method? The public, let's see, void method and get driver method. It means give me the driver copy whenever it's required. So as I told you, thread local class is having two methods. One is a set and one is a get. Set means to initialize a driver value that we have already used here. And get method means to initialize, or sorry, to get the latest value or a local copy or thread local copy of that particular driver. So here I'm going to use once again my thread local driver dot get. And see, here I'm writing a return keyword here. So instead of void, what should I write? Instead of void, we have to write a WebDriver here. Simple. So this, whenever someone is calling this particular method, get driver method, it will give me the local copy for a specific thread for the driver here. Simple, right? So every thread will get the individual copy of the driver so that there is no any race condition and no a deadlock condition over there. Every thread will give its own individual local copy of the driver so that it will perfectly work fine in the parallel mode for me. Perfect. Then I'll do one thing. In this particular, see, this method is still pending. That's why it's giving the warning that this method you have created the private, you have to call this method somewhere. So here I'm saying once this particular instance, let's see, is ready, then in that case, I'll put one if condition here. Now see this carefully. Now what we have to do, we are not calling this method yet. That's why it's giving a warning that you have created one private method, but you are not calling it. So what exactly I'm going to do it here, that the moment the get instance method is getting called and the object is actually created, I want to use this particular reference here, and then I'm putting one condition. And the condition is that if my thread local driver dot a get, which is equal to a null, right? Then only I want to call this particular initialize driver method. And how to call it? This is my non-static method I want to call in the static. So I can just simply use this particular instance, and then I'm going to use this particular initialize driver method and then supply the same browser here. So that is a simple condition that we are writing. And then after that, if I want to return this particular instance from this particular function, I'm returning it, because in the singleton pattern, get instance method means give me the object reference of that particular class after the singleton code. So instead of void, what should I write? I have to write the class name here because we are returning the same class reference here. Perfect. So let's see, get driver method is ready and get instance method is also ready. This private method, we are calling it here to initialize a driver by using the browser here. And then let's see, I'm going to create one more static method for quitting the browser. So here I'm writing public static void, let's see, quit browser here, right? And for quitting the browser, what should I do? For quitting the browser, again, I'm using this particular thread local driver. So thread local driver dot get, if thread local driver dot get is not equal to null, right? If it is not equal to null, then only what should I do? Again, thread local driver dot give me the copy, and then only I want to quit. Otherwise, if it is equal to null, it would have given you null pointer exception. So that's why we are avoiding it. And once that particular thread is done, and then thread local driver, I simple say, let's see, disconnect, and then simple remove it from there. So quit the browser, and then after that, remove it. I know slightly different code because we have implemented the thread local driver. We are not using the traditional driver equal to new Chrome driver here, right? So thread local driver will help me to get the local copy for each and every thread, and that thread will use the driver and use it for their purpose, like driver.get or dot find or whatever they want to do, they will do it. So every thread will have the individual copy of the driver for their individual purpose here. That will help me any that will help me proper execution with the parallel execution. There will not be any kind of deadlock or any overhead or any performance issue or any clash between two threads here, right? So let's see, looks like the code is ready. We just need to test it is really working or not. So I'll go to my app test that I have already created. In the app test, I have created one before class and after class, like simple setup method and tear down method that we always create. I'm doing what? I'm creating one web driver, a reference that I have created. And in the setup method, doing what? Add the rate parameters with browser. So in this browser, I'll be reading from the testng.xml file. And from the XML file only, I'll generate my number of threads from there, right? And passing the browser also. So what should I do? I'm going to use this particular WebDriver manager, right? So let's use this WebDriver manager dot, and I'm going to use this particular get instance method. See this get instance method, because I really want to call this particular get instance method, which is publicly and statically available. It means use the class name to call the static method and supply the browser. And that is what I'm using it. And this get instance method is doing what? This is help me to create the object of this particular class, and then it will initialize the browser and then return the instance. instance of WebDriver Manager. And once you get the instance means the object reference. If you are getting it, you can call other methods. So can I call this method get driver method? And get driver method is giving me what? A thread local copy of that particular driver. And it's giving me the WebDriver here. So can I say that this driver reference, can I store it here? Can I attach here? Simple. So driver equal to this one. So if you don't attach, otherwise this driver will be null. And here you will start getting null pointer exception, right? So simple. After that, you launch your google.com. If you really want to know about the thread, so what is the current thread is going on, .get name, you can use it. And let's say I'm writing driver.get title method. I'm printing it on the console. And after that, if you really want to write one assertion also, you can write it. So again, I'm writing, let's see, driver.get title. You can store it in variable also. And that variable you can use it. And my expected title is Google. And in the tear down method, what should I do? Again, WebDriver Manager, quit browser method. See this, I just want to quit the browser, which is already static in nature. And then it will quit the browser here, the specific thread local driver it will be using, and then simple quit it. Perfect. So this is my apptest.java is written. So I'll do one thing first. See, this is my testng.xml file I actually already created here. Let's check with the single thread and only one Chrome browser. Okay, let's see, thread count is equal to only 1 here, and parallel equal to test that I'm writing. Verbose equal to 3 means we want a better log, some better logs on the console. But here I'm just simple writing only one test block here. Okay, so let's see, is it really working or not? So I'm right click on it and go to run as testng. This time I'm passing browser value equal to Chrome here. So only Chrome browser should be launched with google.com, which is absolutely working fine. Closing it, working fine on the console. One test is perfect, right? Now I'll do one thing. I'll just uncomment these two test blocks also. Thread count, I'm saying 3 threads that I'm generating from here. I'm not using the multi-threading from the Java. I'm using multi-threading concept from the TestNG because this is the way we work in the real-time projects. And thread count equal to 3, that is what I have returned. Chrome, Firefox, and Edge browser that I'm passing. And 3 test cases are running on the different browsers. So let's see, is it really working or not? So run as TestNG here. Now let's see, it's really opening 3 browsers at the same time. Perfect. Can you see that? 3 browsers are running at the same time, and it's all 3 browsers are opening Google, 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 and then it will be closing it after the execution, and all are running in the parallel mode, not in the sequential mode. Right, guys? So let's do one thing. Let's add some more test blocks, or later on you can add more test cases. Let's see, this is a Chrome one. This is, I'm saying, Chrome number 2. And let's see, 2 Firefox also I'm writing. Remember, 2 test block names cannot be same. This is 1, this is 2. And let's see, for Edge browser also I'm writing 2 test blocks here. So this is Edge test 1 and Edge test number 2, right? So let's see, total 6 test blocks I'm having, increasing the thread count, let's see, up to 6. And then let's see, is it really working or not in the parallel mode. So you see the taskbar here. Nice. Can you see? 6 threads, 6 browsers running in the parallel mode. This is perfectly fine. So we have implemented singleton pattern. See this? All are running in the parallel mode. So we have implemented the singleton pattern with the parallel execution with Selenium WebDriver in Java, with the concept of thread local, and all my test cases are absolutely working fine. There is no concept like sometimes you must have seen this error, this dot driver equal to null, and then tear down method is not getting executed properly, browser is not getting executed properly. Why? Because your thread management is not properly implemented in your initialization part. So thread local class is very important here, and here we are using what, a singleton pattern also here. Although you must be thinking that, don't you think it's a violation of the singleton pattern? It looks like, but it is not actually. You can say it's a enhanced version of the singleton pattern with the thread local, because here we have clearly written a check. If the instance is equal to null, then only you have to create the object. And let's see, the first thread is running multiple test cases. Then in that case, first thread is actually, or let's see, two, three threads are there, and the object is already created. Again, the second thread is coming and checking instance is equal to null or not. Instance equal not equal to null. Then in that case, it will just give me the original copy of the instance over here. The first copy of the instance will be given. Only single copy of the instance will be given here, right? So that's why it's properly singleton pattern with the driver initialization with the thread local driver here. I know slightly little complex topic or little different design as compared to a typical WebDriver design that we use. But I hope this is clear. If you really want to implement this, you can take this particular code. I'll upload this code in my Git repo. I'll share the Git repo URL with you guys. If you really want to implement and you can really prepare for, you really want to prepare for the interview point of view, you can do it here as well with this example. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and God bless you all, guys.